Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Brady here, and I just had this idea for a video. As some of you know, I've lost 50 pounds over the course of my life to get to where I am today. Yes, at one point, probably about 5 years ago, actually maybe a little bit more, 6 years ago, I was 50 pounds heavier than I am right now. And one of the proudest moments for me was when I was able to finally lose the weight and actually have felt better physically and mentally than I have in my entire life. And as we're getting into the new year, one of the biggest goals or one of the biggest New Year's resolutions, I think it's the biggest New Year's resolution, is to lose weight or get in better shape. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is what I think are some of the most important considerations to have and things to be preparing for as you get into the new year if your goal is to get in better shape for the new year. Now in this video, I'm not going to go into diets. I'm not going to go into the tactic or strategies of different diets in this video because everybody has a different approach to this. I'm not going to touch that hot button topic, but these, I think, are some of the biggest reasons why people actually don't lose the weight, regardless of what your tactics are. There are people who have lost weight on keto, there's people who have lost weight on paleo, there's tons of different ways that people have done it, but these are going to be addressing the more important components that I've found with patients and clients who haven't been able to lose the weight in the past. So I want to share with you my top tips to be able to do that so that this following year you can crush it and finally get actual true results this year, because what's the stat? I think 98% of people don't end up hitting their New Year's resolution. Let's make sure you're the 2% that do. Now, tip number one is to tell somebody, have an accountability partner, tell somebody your goal. Because you know if you have that goal in secret and you keep it to yourself and you just say, hey, I just have this goal in my head that I'm gonna lose 10 pounds in the next 2 months or 3 months or whatever it is, you know the first time that roadblock comes around, it's gonna be so easy for you to quit on yourself. But if you tell somebody else, now all of a sudden you put that goal into reality. You put it out there for somebody else to know about, to keep you accountable, and better yet, find somebody who has the same goal you do. Find somebody who also wants to get in shape, because now instead of having somebody who you feel like is just going to be making sure you hit that goal almost like a boss, you now have somebody who's going to join in the challenge with you, and now you two are in it together. You're keeping each other accountable, making sure each other hits the goal, and it's a much better way to do it. Now it may seem awkward for some of you to do that, to have somebody who you're going to be accountable to, but this is the key to this, because usually for people when they hit the first roadblock, that's the first time that they just say, maybe in the next couple of months I'll get back to it. Not this time. If you really want this goal, you need to tell somebody, find an accountability partner, put it out there. All right, tip number two, this may sound a little bit strange, but I always had 2 goals every time I set a specific amount of weight that I wanted to lose. And with that being said, as you're setting your goals, they should always be SMART goals, which is an acronym for SMART. SMART, isn't it? Yeah, you get the idea. You should be setting SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. I have a whole nother video talking about that, which you can find right up here somewhere in one of the top corners. But your goals should always be SMART goals, but also I would set 2. I would set a realistic goal, which I knew if I pushed and I really went for my goal, I could hit that. So for you, maybe that's 10 pounds. But then I would always set what I would call a stretch or a reach goal. This was a goal that was like, if I went above and beyond and I got over and above the results that I thought I would hit that goal. So for you, maybe that's 15 to 17 pounds. Now let me ask you a question. Which goal do you think I hit a majority of the time? Majority of the time, I hit that stretch or that reach goal, because your brain starts to look towards the stretch or the reach goal, not just your realistic goal. And then in those cases, there were some cases where I did hit my realistic goal and I didn't get my reach goal, but I was still happy because I hit the goal that I had set out for. Now, tip number 3, I think is the most important one of all this, and it is you need to avoid willpower as much as possible. Willpower is a tank that you only have so much of, and the more you use of it, the less you have in the future, which means you're going to be more apt and more vulnerable to slipping away from your goal, going back to old bad habits that you never wanted to go back to in the first place, and it's going to deter you from hitting your goal. So what I mean by avoiding willpower is you use willpower anytime you have to make a decision. Anytime you have to think about what to do next, you are using willpower to make a decision, whether you're going to go back to your old habit or install a new habit. So that means if you're trying to wake up early and go for a run every morning, that means you don't need to be thinking about what music you're going to be listening to, what clothes you're going to be wearing, what time you're going to wake up, all that stuff. All that stuff should be done the night before. So you want to have your clothes laid out, your music played out, so that way you can just wake up, put on your earphones, put on your clothes, and go. Same goes with your meals, and same goes with your food. This is when you get into more meal prepping. You want to make sure you have things on hand. You know what you're going to eat at a specific day, specific time. You know how much you're going to eat, so that way you can just pull it out, eat right away. Or you have the ingredients already prepared, you have the meals laid out, so you don't have to think about it. But as soon as you get to that point where you go, I don't have anything in the fridge, what should I go pick up? All of a sudden now when your willpower is low, especially if you've had a busy or stressful day, you're going to be much more vulnerable and you're much more likely to get away from the goals that you have in mind. So I always say preparation is key. You got to make sure that you are prepping in advance so you're avoiding as much willpower as possible. Schedule as many things as you can, prep as many things as you can, and make sure you take advantage of that, because I guarantee you if you don't, you're going to find that your willpower is going to slip really quickly and you're going to end up back in old habits. So don't do that. Avoid as much willpower as possible. All right, tip number 4, which I think is going to be very valuable for many of you to hear, is focus on consistency, not perfection. Okay, I've lost 50 pounds. I wasn't perfect, right? I've had those weeks where you say, okay, my cheat day is going to be on Saturday, right? And you look forward to Saturday, and all of a sudden you have a cheat day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Like I've had those times. I've had slip-ups, and so have so many other people. Nobody's perfect. We all go through these phases. And now this is an excuse to slip up. This is an excuse to deter from the path. But what I'm saying is when you do have those slip-ups, or if you do have those slip-ups, don't beat yourself up over it. Focus on consistency to get your results, because what happens is people beat themselves up so much they end up deterring themselves completely from their goal and don't get back on the horse. Focus on consistency over perfection. I guarantee you'll still be able to hit your goal. Now, tip number 5 here is a tough one, but I think it's one that a lot of you need to hear, because this was really tough for me as well, which is you need to guard who you're spending your time with, especially if you are committed to hitting your goal. And what I mean is, there are some people, if you told them your goal and you said, hey, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months, or I'm trying to lose 20 pounds, whatever it is, there are certain people out there that when you say, hey, I have to go work out, they're going to go, oh, no, let's go to McDonald's instead, or oh, let's go here instead. Or you tell them your goal and they just laugh at you. Right? And there are certain people that are not going to help you, and in fact, they're going to be more of a deterrent on your goal. And with that being said, if you have those people in your life, even if they're really close to you, you need to guard the time that you spend with them. You need to make sure that you state what your goal is, and you tell them, hey, I'm really committed to hitting this goal. And if they're not on board, maybe you need to monitor how much time you spend with them. Because if they don't have your best interest in mind, they may not be the right people for you. They may be stuck in their own ways. True friends and true support system for you are people that are going to hear your goal and say, you know what, I want the best for you too, and I'm going to help you reach that. Hey, let's not go out, I'm going to go to the store, let's pick up stuff to make a healthy dinner instead of going out to that restaurant. Those are what true friends are for. And if you don't have friends like that who can support you along your goal, maybe it's time to monitor who you're spending your time with. And I think this is really important. That's why I saved this one for last. It's a tough one, but I think some of you definitely need to consider this one just in terms of making sure you're able to hit your goal. Because if you're committed, you need to commit to every aspect of your life to ensuring that you're hitting that goal in mind. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this video. I'm so excited to hear your guys' results for what you guys have done this following year. And if you guys did hit your goal, I would love to hear, 1, what is your goal for this new year down below? And 2, if you hit it, I want to hear your results and reply to your own comment down below and let me know what your results were for this year. Consider this your little accountability forum down below. Put in your goal. We're going to keep you accountable to it. And I can't wait to hear what your guys' results are. And then if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give it a like down below. Just punch that like button down there. And also, if you're new to this channel and you really like this video and you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe by clicking that red button down below somewhere. You can punch that one too. Subscribe, get notifications on this video, and I'll make sure to keep posting more awesome content like this. And I'd love to hear more on what other types of content you guys want on this channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an amazing new year.